Fnatic victory. Now we're moving on to the next game, though, in just a few moments' time here. I think that victory for Fnatic, they mentioned it in the cast as well, was very important for their mental stability in the rest of the series, correct?
Yeah, I don't know that it would have been recoverable for Fnatic, knowing that they are a momentum-based team anyway, to be that far down to Team Dignitas in the Grand Finals, understanding everything within the Grand Finals, that they are up against Team Dignitas, and that normally in the last series, Fnatic was really far ahead in the early game, and then they would lose it because of a punishment from Dignitas.
Yeah.
But Dignitas is playing so well that Fnatic aren't even getting the chance to get ahead in the early game so far this series.
Let's find out where we're going. It's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen here, a map where both teams have had a lot of success in the past, traditionally across the years at least. What do we think of it?
I like it. I like the fact that it's Fnatic's. We talked about would Dig risk being the one to pick that map overall, but Fnatic is going to be the one taking us to it. I love it. It's just Europe for me was the team or the region that kind of made Tomb of the Spider Queen and the way to approach it in a lot of the new strategies that you still see today. So I think it's only fitting that at the World Championship here we have two European teams competing in the Grand Finals over it.
Colliding head to head, and overall, Fan, your thoughts going into this?
Last time they played on Tomb of the Spider Queen, Fnatic did take the win there, but I believe Dig picked the map last time, so there is also that distinction where this time Dignitas gets first pick, so we'll have to see what they do with that.
All right, going into it then, the next game in this Grand Final series, Fnatic 2, Team Dignitas 2. Let's get into the draft.
I was kind of hoping for the same bans as last time, but Dignitas this time not. They're going to be the ones to ban out Uther. Fnatic considering a Stitches first ban.
That would lead to, I mean, first indicator would just be a 100% first pick of Nubarak on the side of Dignitas once they see that Stitches banned out.
Yeah, so if they go through with this one, they're saying that your Stitches is more threatening than your Anubrak. Even though the Anubrak is the more likely first pick, we would rather just you not have the option of picking Stitches at all.
I love it. It's maybe not something that right out the gates, I feel like that is a huge power play, but I just love the fact that they're willing to focus into specific, I mean, look at no hesitation there, into specific hero pools and targeting one another here. Because again, it's very rare that we get to see two teams that know each other so well in a grand finals like this. So with the Anubarak gone, does Fnatic need the Malfurion? Do they think that it's worse to be able to pick that up?
I think yes.
I think so too.
Because Dignitas have taken the power warrior from Breeze, so in this instance, they've basically played on the ban of Stitches, so Fnatic, in theory, should do the same, taking the Malfurion.
And I also think that by getting that Uther ban and letting it go through, the one game you managed to get Bakery on not the top two, which we talked about the priority, is just, yes, take it away from him, force that ban to be a possible bad ban here through this rotation. But there is a Dahaka and the Mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, so once again, Bakery will not be playing Uther or the Mouth. We saw in the last game he was playing the Monk. They ended up losing that game, but he had a lot of really good palms overall.
Yeah, he did.
So.
He did. Then the one palm that he needed to hit to be able to win the game was it set it back. I think that's one of the things with Karzim is he's actually a really good support, but you legitimately have no room for error. Ever, if he's going to be able to thrive at this level of play. And you saw time and time again, Bakery had palm after palm after palm, allowing that momentum to go in the favor of it. And then one time, he doesn't get a palm off before a Dream hits. GG no re.
So Dig has a lot of options here. The Genji Greymane combo is still both up. That's probably one of the more likely choices. Wouldn't hate the Li Ming takeaway as well. Just get rid of stuff that counters your Cocoon. Mene very solid on Li Ming as well.
Would they pick Leo this high, since Dahaka's gone?
Not usually. But if they expect it's in the bans, oh, Chromie,
And the Chromie over the Genji, interesting.
They played
and the Li
Chromie
Ming, I suppose.
last time versus Fnatic on this Battleground too.
I think it's nice to pick for Mene higher in the draft if Dignitas feels comfortable. Whenever I see Mene prioritize high, I feel like Dignitas is confident in their draft just because he oftentimes is kind of the crux on the later slots. And if they don't pick very generic heroes at the very top end, those few hybrids that they have between players. So whenever I see that very high up, it doesn't mean it's a free win by any means, but I do feel like Dignitas has a lot more confidence.
And they'll look to get out on the map very quickly within an abnormal position and try that same time trap thing that they did last time around.
Yeah, and the combo between JPL's Anub and Mene's Chromie is incredible. When they know that the damage is going out in a spot from Dragon's Breath, especially once you get Dragon's Eye, JPL will set up and stop them when people are rotating through there. So it's just it's such a good combo for Dignitas.
The Arthas hover here. I wonder if Fnatic is trying to go for an Illidan on Tomb again. They did play Task Illidan once against MVP Black in the group stages on Tomb. Didn't go so well for them though.
Could that be a attempted force into something like a Leo, rather than the Illidan itself? I mean, Illidan is a viable strategy on Tomb, but it's not necessarily a overly common one. Globals are also not overly dominant, but even though we do see the Dahaka. But it's just, I also wonder if that's more of like trying to make sure that they don't see Xaylia onto that hero, push him into something like the Leoric that they feel like they can deal with.
I think that is very likely as well. But the weird thing about that is I think I would prefer the Leo over the Arthas if I was Dignitas here. I
completely agree. It just felt like to see that ban that high up, it stood out to me, and that was really the only thing I could come up with though. But I agree, especially with the Chromie, I like the Leo Chromie on Tomb. It felt out of place, and that's the only justification I could see here for Fnatic. There's a lot of whistles.
Welcome to DreamHack.
And taking away the Genji, that's a smart choice. I think Fnatic, every time they pop off, it seems there's always a Genji in the mix.
I can't take this seriously. Those whistles.
All right, so in this rotation, now that we see it being Genji-less, Fnatic onto the front line with the Stitches and Noob gone. Does it go back into the ETC? Arthas is off the table.
They have to go down the Tyrael path.
I mean, even Johanna is still up.
Yeah, even
it
Johanna.
Is a
That's a good point.
On this map.
Yeah.
Decent into Grey main, good wave clear, but really any tank could be viable in this situation.
This is tense. The fact that they wait this long going into some of these picks, and just you can see that they're so afraid if you just lock in the wrong hero at the wrong time that they feel like he can set them so far back.
Is it a Lunara?
And Muradin. That's unexpected. Both unexpected, actually. Lunara is an old tool that they used to lose.
It's 100%. It's 100% Illidan, right?
Well, Lunara was picked for Fnatic the last time they played Dig on this battleground, along with Li Ming.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It still might be the Li Ming last pick here with the Lunara, but we'll have to see. The Illidan is a little bit awkward when you already have the Dahaka on your team. That's the only thing that's convincing me against it so far, but still a possibility.
Just if Dread's math of drafting, Dahaka, or excuse me, the Arthas ban with the Lunara setup to try and enable like the Arthas seemed weird, the Lunara seemed semi-weird, which usually means that it has to be something.
If it was Illidan, their comp would be weird for the people playing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It does seem a very strange rotation coming out from them, but again, they're just going to be mixing things up.
What does Dig go?
Leo still stands out to me. No, they're going to
Illidan carries him.
Taking the Illidan.
Wow. I need help, guys.
It's a difficult one. What do you do to deal with that Illidan, but then have the potential to get all the way back to a Chromie? Solve the puzzle.
Oh boy.
You have 40 seconds.
That's exactly what we're asking these players to do, essentially.
Yeah.
I feel like you just go with the cookie cutter Li Ming, try and play passive, let your Lunara Li Ming outpoke them, and eventually win that way. You have the counter to the cocoon that way as well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
The thing is if you go down that path, it makes Bakery's job a little easier with palming. But obviously you need to force that out during a fight anyway, right?
Yeah, and the Lunara will do a good job against the Monk overall. You can palm one target, but she's going to be killing and poisoning your entire team throughout the course of the fight.
Medivh. Oh. All right, that rounds out the draft. And I have been notified that we have our StarCraft 2 audience joining us as well. You may be familiar with my voice. Surprise! I'll paint the picture for you, StarCraft, as we get into this. It is currently 2-2 here in this grand finals between Europe and Europe. All the Koreans have been eliminated. That's sometimes a little bit weird for StarCraft fans to hear, but they have been eliminated during all of this, and now we are in this best of semi-7 grand finals. So guys, what do you think of the draft so far?
Man, the Illidan rotation for Dignitas, and I love the Medivh response. I didn't even think about the Medivh early on. I just didn't expect that to come out from Fnatic, but now, like, as I saw it and I put the pieces together, I actually really like that piece for them. I think that set them really far ahead in this draft.
Other thoughts? I know it's a difficult puzzle to solve considering a Medivh has just been thrown in. They can use the protection on targets against Chromie.
I'm glad that Dignitas took Anubarak.
Yes,
Really glad they took that because they have the Anubarak and Chromie. That is a solid combination. And their Illidan is undefeated in this tournament now in 7 games. So those things are good going for them. The Medivh is just like wrench, thrown into the plans.
It's definitely true. Fan, your thoughts?
Yeah, the Medivh does make me like Fnatic's composition a lot better. It's just I've seen from MVP Black that just because you pick it doesn't mean you can execute it. So I'm not sure how good Fnatic is with the Medivh, even though in theory it seems amazing. And Dignitas on full comfort, very strong when they're on full comfort.
I will say that I felt the same way with Fnatic at BlizzCon with their Medivh pick when they dropped it, and they clutched it out. Some of the best Medivh play I've seen out the gates. It's one of those, trust me, I'm going to carry on type picks for them, it feels like, and so I think that's enough for me to put faith in it.
It's gonna have to do something. Let's get the predictions in, starting with you, Gilly.
Solely based on how Tomb of the Spider Queen went between the 2 teams before, my vote is still for Fnatic.
All right, Dread?
Map and the draft is enough for me. It's got to be Fnatic.
2 for 2.
All right, I'll trust in Dread's words. If that Medivh player is amazing, I'm going with Fnatic.
Trusting in Dread. It's a bold move.
It is.
Let's see what chat thinks as you guys have all tuned in around the world. 55, that is 55. My eyes are getting bad. Against 45 here. Slightly shifting in favor of Fnatic as we get into the next game. So, here in the grand finals, it's all tied up. We have 3 maps left. Let's head over to the commentary team for Tomb of the Spider Queen.
An explosive composition for Dignitas. Can Fnatic hold all that firepower?
Well, we'll find out in the next game because this is now a 2-2. It's a tie in this series, and we have seen some incredible games and fights already.
Well, let's go ahead and check it out. On the left side, please introduce them for us.
We have on the left the Swedish boy band. It is on the Haka, Whoopi, Malfurion, played by Smexy, Quacknix on Lunara, Breeze on Mirrodin, Shrimpion Medivh. Give it up for Fnatic!
On the right side, in the red, JPL on Anubarak, Snitch on Greymane, Mane on Chromie, Bakery on Karazim, Zaylee on Illidan. Give them some noise!
Team Dignitas came into this grand final swinging, taking the first 2 games off Fnatic, but now the Swedes are back. The score is 2-2 as we are heading into this 5th game on Tomb, and that Medivh pick definitely changed things up quite a bit.
One of the most annoying picks you can have against a Chromie. First off, the Muradin was annoying for a Chromie player, but now you see the Medivh as well. Medivh just floats around consistently around that Chromie, and every time she revs up, you just have that force of will ready to go.
Once again, JPL, he had the fun. His Anubarak has been fantastic this tournament. Mena on the Li Ming was also incredible in the past few games, but this time we are seeing him on the Chromie, trying to once again establish himself as the best mage player in Europe.
This Chromie is terrifying. I remember when he pulled it out at the Western Clash and absolutely sniped everyone, man. This French sniper can be on point. Missing out slightly there on the left side here, though, as Quacknix was able to survive, and Fnatic turns it around. We're going to have Bakery fall.
Fnatic in this 3rd game, they are a momentum-based team, and we said from the beginning, if they don't win the last game on Infernal Shrines, they are in trouble, but they did. They built momentum, and now they're trying to go for kill after kill, but it is Dignitas who answers right away.
Answer right back there as Malfurion falls. Sports are going to have a hard time this game, as they're definitely going to be the focus here. How does Karazim fare against Lunara?
Well, Karazim at this point has to be really, really careful with those heals. I feel the pressure is going to be what's really deciding this. Karazim can, with the AoE, of course, heal quite a bit, so that's going to be in favor of Dignitas here. But I think when it comes to Lunara, the pressure that can be put on her with all the heroes that we see for Dignitas, with the Illidan, the Greymane, and also, of course, the Chromie, this is what should keep Quacknix way back and diminish his damage output.
There's that gameplay right there that we're expecting from Dignitas. JPL going with the Burrow charge, Chromie following up there with the Dragon's Breath into the Sand Blast, bringing out the damage. JPL missing out on the Burrow charge. We're going to look at Dahaka as he gets picked up, but the portal will be enough to get him out.
Yeah, portal is already being used here, and we are going to see that over and over again. Save the heroes that are being attacked here. Rotations down to the bot lane. And we have to talk about a few things here now too. Vision on this map is incredibly important. If you control the 2 turn-in points, then you find yourself in a very good spot. And this is where Medivh also, of course, excels. First of all, the portal for the interrupts. Also, you can just grant the vision to your team. Muradin taken down though. Not even Medivh can save him here, but the counter kill is happening.
Wow, Wubby answers back to the Brush Tucker onto Chromie, picking her up, and Smexy and Quacknix will bring out the damage. At the same time, Schwimpy's here to help out, but yes, it's a constant 1-for-1 trade. We have 2 kills to 2.
We have 2 for 2 at this point. It's just blow for blow. It is on like Lotteron here on Team of the Spider Queen, as both of these teams showing their absolute A game right now. But still, we have to, of course, ask ourselves, how does all of this change later on after level 10? Especially when we're talking about Chromie. The utility that you can get is mind-blowing.
That it is, but major threats are here available for Fnatic. After 10, Meridian with the Avatar State able to jump in the back line, get aggressive. I wouldn't mind seeing even a Skull Cracker from him at level 7 just to be that aggressive. But hang on, Breeze taking some damage, is able to get out. But also, at 13, that greater Spell Shield.
Well, absolutely. This is a really good point that you bring up. The Spell Shield would help quite a lot. We've seen occasionally the unfair advantage coming into play, but the Spell Shield would make so much sense here, and it makes Quacknix so much safer against what Dignitas has put on the table here. I have to say, though, I love how these snap decisions, not only the aggression, but the way it's executed, this is really what makes these games so beautiful.
Fnatic able to rotate a slightly better overall as they got a turn in here for the 22. Look at the Wisp here, always on point for Lenara. At the same time, Medivh being able to give vision. Team Dignitas, the only vision they really have is that Time Walker's Pursuit when they want to rotate, and that's a relatively decent long cooldown.
Already the pressure coming in here. The crowd once again starting to hype for the teams. These games have been insane. They already met. Dignitas and Fnatic, they met already once in the winner bracket, and it was such a close series. It was a 5-mapper, and it went down to a 1% on the core for Dignitas. Once more the aggression, and Fnatic traditionally, they have so much trouble taking Dignitas down. Dignitas is the European team to beat if you make it to the offline final.
Already, this Medivh peak is really just paying off. There was a time trap that connected with Medivh, instantly Force of Will there, preventing Team Dignitas from putting 4 abilities onto him and blowing him up. Now it seems like a weird scenario for Team Dignitas. Do you start to stagger out your damage to make sure you can actually punish that Force of Will, or do you continue to go all in and just hope that he misses it?
It's a really good question. Well, at this point, once again, the interrupt. Oh, the engage against Quacknix. They're trying to dive in. Wubby is there, keeping Illidan for now at bay. That could have been a kill against Lunara, and if you start losing gems, then you are in trouble.
Yeah, quite the dodge there. Nice job by him. The Dragon's Eye coming out. You see Lunara just get chunked.
Yeah, that was a bullseye right there. Mena with a hit. And also, we've been talking a bit about Anubarak in the previous games, and I've been talking about the Bed of Barbs against the Under King. With this comp, with Dignitas really going in for the dive with an Illidan and a Greymane, you want to go Under King. You want to go deep.
Yeah, you really do want to pull that off. It will be the slowing sands for Chromie at level 8, being able to drop that on the rotations to prevent her opponents from getting in, but also to gain the vision. JPL's on the right side of the portal trying to make sure no one's coming through. Breeze will pop in, but pops back out.
Breeze with the portal jukes here. He was under attack, but first of all, we saw immediately the shield from Medivh come out, and then later on, the portal is being used to be mobile and move out of harm's way. The teams are dead even experienced, Trixler.
Master's Touch only up 4 stacks for the moment, but they are dead even. But we're also seeing them get closer and closer to level 10. 35, 24 gems turn in. Both teams have a turn-in available if they could just drop off the gems, but they're having quite a difficult time.
They indeed do. And by the way, you talked earlier about Muradin and his build. He did actually forego Skullcracker on level 7. So we're not going to have that mini stun, but we see him with a cooldown reduction. And that's the survival build that we see so often, where you really put all your eggs into the survival basket. You want to make sure that the Thunderclap procs even more often for the healing that you get after your your level 13 talent is being picked up.
It makes sense. The longer you survive, the more time that theoretically Lunar can put out damage in the sustain composition. So we'll watch Murden as he continues to live here. And every single time I hear a sound effect from that Chromie, my heart stops. But still, Fnatic has only lost 2 deaths.
Yeah, Breeze wants to interrupt here. Zelia is barely interrupted by Medivh. Medivh in trouble, but once again, the teams are moving away. Dignitas is taking a lot of a more aggressive stance, though, around the turn-in spot. Here comes that Stormbolt, the lockdown. Are they going to get the kill against Stitch?
He's getting low, he's getting out, and it looks like he will be able to retreat, but Quacknix takes the opportunity to go for a turn-in, and he will get the gems dropped off.
Fnatic, they get the Web Weavers first, barely, but they do. Also the pressure against Chromie.
Chromie.
Mana is down.
Twilight
the
Dream
is in, the dream is real, and that is the double kill as Fnatic moves in with their heroic abilities.
Fnatic bringing the house down here with 3 Web Weavers pushing in and 2 kills. They're in prime position to work in those turrets and start moving forward. Zelia will defend the bottom lane, but Fnatic continues to push in the middle.
Fnatic, they want to go for it. Yeah, in Breeze, pick that avatar. You're not going to fool anybody here. That's not going to be a haymaker. We're not that lucky. There it is. He takes the ult. They have the lead, and just look at this fight. Quacknix, he gets his ult on the Lunara and uses the leaping strike immediately for those kills.
Yeah, moving in for the Anubis, and I love the confidence. Hang on, Zelia's in trouble. Those are a massive amount of gems down, and the crowd goes crazy here as Zelia falls.
Bot lane is being assaulted. Dignitas is on the back foot. A level lead for Fnatic already, and they're not stopping here. They want the structures. They get the towers. They drop the fountain, and they focus on the fort.
And the problem is, they get stronger and stronger here. Lunara is one of those heroes when you get to mid to late game. She becomes a powerhouse. Wubby trying to juke and jive. Can he get out? Medivh's on the way. The portal comes in, and they're going to save Wubby.
The Juke Master himself, he made the place on the Sonya on the last map, and he does it again. 4 heroes try to kill him, and Wubby says, no thank you. He immediately moves from the left to the right, plays with a vision on the smoke screen, and gives Medivh the opportunity to get in range for the portal. Dignitas has to be slightly tilted at this point.
Slightly there. Zelia even going for a hunt on Quacknix, and Quacknix uses the leaping strike to get out and bounds away from the fight. Team Dignitas looking for an option. They want to get a fight. They want to stop Fnatic from taking the advantage of pushing forward.
They need to stop Fnatic getting the double turn in. Dignitas needs to take a bit of a breather here, but they will be down a talent in a little bit. Can they make an engagement happen or turn in before that's the case, though? That's the big play they could make now. They have the cocoon, they have the initiation, they have the hunt, they have the tools, but it's going to be a risk fighting against the talent advantage on the side of Fnatic.
That's a really good point. The hunt being available is very similar to the Genji we saw earlier. After the Force of Will is used, you can go in. Now Zelia goes in, but Swimpy just turns around and drops the Force of Will, and Zelia just runs away.
Breeze re-engages. He goes in. He tries to go for a kill here, but we have the time trap hitting Wubby. He can't follow it up with an additional drag. No disable on their point, but we have 94 gems for Fnatic. That's a turn-in whenever they want it.
I'm very surprised that we didn't have Snatch actually in the top go for that turn-in. All 5 members for Fnatic were in the bottom right. Dignitas usually in that situation would go for the turn-in, and if they had Greymane that had 24 of the gems, could have got them closer and closer to that turn-in.
Fnatic is currently trying to play this smart. They're saying, guys, they cannot fight us. We have the 13, get the camp at the bot lane, and wait with a turn-in just a little bit. They need 10 more, and they know that at this point, Dignitas is tempted, but they don't really want to fight because they know it's risky. Here's the turn-in. That's the Web Weavers. Fnatic is trying to snowball this. In order to make that happen, they need to get value now.
The defense gets harder and harder for Dignitas while they have so many gems on them. They can't really commit too much. It's going to be Greymane, and the Chromie is going to try and burn down these Web Weavers, but they're going to take a long time to actually pull that off, especially with Giants pushing in the bottom with the Web Weavers.
Right now, Fnatic moving in. They defeat a lot of the camps. Bot lane Siege Giants are still pushing. Web Weaver, the top lane, is going to eventually get the fort here, and they are moving into the middle. Dignitas does not have 13. They are firing away from the backline with mana.
I love how Fnatic brings all 5 members in the middle to make sure they can get up to this fort as much as possible to get damage there. They're not going to allow the hunt to have a possibility to even come off while Wubby heads to the top lane after they get it there.
Medivh the entire time granting the vision, but Dignitas is doing well with the defense so far. Bot lane pressured still. Zelia very careful here.
And while we have members in the bottom right defending, Fnatic will take the opportunity to push forward and grab this fort and also go for a keep wall. They are running this battleground so well right now.
Fnatic has still every fort available. They have the retreat, they have the fountain. Dignitas have the 13 though, and they are engaging, they are moving in, at least they're trying. Zelia, is he going for the hunt here?
Brilliant Stormbolt there from Breeze to stop the engage from JPL. They stop Dignitas from getting the fight they want.
Really well done. Fnatic is still ahead here. They can play around their opponent at this point. They will eventually take the fort in the mid lane as well. And now on 13 also, haven't even talked about it after it happened. The greater spell shield, you mentioned it before. This is so good for Quacknix. It makes Lunara so much safer. And they get the kill. It's everything they want here. They get the kill. Do they get the double?
They're looking for it here. Bakery will be able to get off that palm. Is it enough? No. Leaping strike from Quacknix, and they're going in. The ley line seal. Wubby's here. Does he have a drag? No, gonna miss out, but still, they get 2 kills. The undefeated Illidan continues to fall.
And Dignitas, what did Dignitas want going into the game? They wanted momentum, and Fnatic put a stop to that in the early game. Right now, Dignitas is scrambling for a good fight where they can finally drive a battle home and start with an initiative kill and then kill the rest of Fnatic. Illidan thrives on long drawn-out fights where he can hunt the opponent down, but Fnatic is not giving them the chance. And they are an entire talent up again. They are 2 levels ahead.
And they get another turn in. They waited to get 16 here, had to hawk a turn in the bottom, and they have another push coming. They open up the bottom side already, so they can maybe threaten a keep.
Fnatic is angry after losing the first 2 maps. The series is tied in this best of 7, and with this push, they can aim for the keep you just mentioned. We have the Haka at the bot lane, preparing the lane for the wave. Fnatic moving through the middle in the meantime. Illidan, of course, on the side lane. Thanks to the hunt, he can always join a battle when the engage happens.
Dignitas is in a really rough spot here. Chromie has a hard time when you're behind. She's relying on JPL to go in for the engage, but the opportunity never seems to be there, which means she doesn't get the poke that she wants. And if she even does connect any poke, you have Smexy there with the heals.
The bot lane is starting to fall. The keep is low already, 16 to 14 still when it comes to the experience and the talents. Fnatic taking an easy keep here. The big question is, can they get more?
It's not looking like it. They are looking terrified right now. 17 to 14. 16 not here for Dignitas. They're waiting it out, but Fnatic says, let's go. They move forward. JPL instantly with the Impale.
Great play by JPL. It's a small thing, but they need this. If there's an engage by Fnatic and they get a kill before Illidan joins the fun, then all of a sudden it could even be game. But immediately upon seeing the portal, JPL is there and he says, no, this is not going to happen. He drops the stun, hits everyone, and Fnatic has to move out.
And I continue to love Swimpy here. Look how he continues to follow the Chromie, not giving them an opportunity. With the Nubarak and Chromie being paired up, it's difficult for them to make a play. And now Fnatic drops a turn in and they see people on the bottom right. They turn around and look towards the boss.
They go for the boss now. Dignitas doesn't want to fight. They could try and take it. It's a risk and they have the vision. The question is, do they really take that battle?
The Leyline Seal? I don't think you can. Twilight Dream as well. Very terrifying heroics.
I don't think so either. We have seen some crazy decisions in this tournament, but I agree, it would be too much. And Shrimpy has the vision himself. So what Fnatic is doing, they take the boss. Dignitas accepts it and says, well, if you take the boss, we are going to take the turn in. With Medivh granting vision, Fnatic knew about all the movements on the side of Dignitas, so they were safe with this. Dignitas sacrifices their gems to get some deep pressure on the lanes, but are they realistically going to get any structures here?
Maybe not, but I think it's worth it. It gets them to level 16 here, which puts them on even footing for the first time in this game in a long time. They can focus on clearing out the boss in the top right, but Fnatic will easily clear out the web weavers in the middle and the bottom, protecting all infrastructure on the battleground. It's basically a standstill as Dignitas hits 16.
Dignitas is basically not taking down any structures. Here's the risk. It's 16 versus 16 talents. If Dignitas wins a big team fight with the death timers as high as they are right now, they can take down fort after fort, and that is a lot of experience in those structures. Fnatic has to be aware of this.
Dignitas is aware of it as well, as they're going to go ahead and play aggressive with this web weaver. They're looking for a fight. They have a level and a half to get the engage. Chromie hoping to snipe, but she's not connecting.
Lunara, in the meantime, still poking away here, though.
Quacknix on the right side, maybe wants to go for engage, but the moment the web weaver gets cleared up, Dignitas retreats.
The engage potential of Fnatic is fantastic with Breeze, the jump and the Stormbolt out of Muradin, this flank with the Haka using his global and Shrimpy providing vision. It's a constant threat against Dignitas, and keep in mind, They are on a clock here. It's only a level and a bit more until Fnatic is gonna hit that 20.
That's one of the concerns with playing Illidan on this battleground. Typically, you can have Illidan go into a different map or a different part of the side here and push in and be ready for that hunt in. But with this map being so small, there's always that moment that Fnatic can come in and engage. Azalea is starting to group with the team.
Turn-ins are starting here. Dignitas has lost a lot of gems, but Fnatic, they want a fight right now. They're looking for it. At least fight for the turn-in spot. Do not make it too easy for Dignitas. And I like it. One of the big problems that...
Oh, unfortunate. He went for it. Azalea is able to dodge out. I wonder, you say you like it, but I wonder, is this really needed?
I mean, I like the engage, and I like that they are playing a bit forward. The reason why I do is I feel it would send the wrong message for them to completely play passive. They need too much time to hit the 20, and if they give Dignitas too much room to take down structures and close the gap, they might risk something. As long as they have the tools to disengage with a portal, as long as they play it clean, they should put on some pressure. They don't have to risk too much, not heavily engage into disadvantageous fight, but at least poking, I like that.
So far, both teams are playing very clean right now. Zelia trying to bait out the opponent here. JPL finally goes in looking for a fight, but he misses out on the impale, and Quagnix starts to move forward towards Mane.
There's the cleanse, though.
Oh.
They're going in once again. Cleanse strike has been used once more. We see a bit of an engage, but there should be an escape on the side of Breeze. He uses his ult, uses the avatar. They're attempting to re-engage.
Breeze is getting low, though, has to jump out. Cocoon has been used. Dignitas is going for it. Leaping strike popping out. Zelia's at half health for the moment, but he's starting to kite away.
Quagnix poking away, trying to make it happen here. Still no turn in for Dignitas. They could move back, but look at the experience. Fnatic is aiming for the 20, and they are close. They're also very close.
Aiming for 20, but also aiming for a team fight. If they can hit that 20 and jump on their opponents to move in, Dignitas trying to prevent that from occurring.
Schwimpy with vision the entire time. He's basically saying, you are in my house. You are not getting that turn in.
Time is ticking. Tick-tock here as 20 is close, but Smexy gets caught. He's going to go through a portal and get out. Schwimpy with the portals.
The Shrimp Master is saving the day for Malfurion. JBL barely getting out there. Leyline hitting two in the back line. Can they get to Illidan?
They're looking for Bakery. They're jumping in. Here comes Breezy. He hits the Stormbolt. Palm comes out, but Quagnix has the damage. They take Bakery.
Bakery's down. Bakery is down. It's 45 seconds and Fnatic has level 20. They do have the gems. The bot lane is open. At this point, Fnatic, what are they going to do? Will they push for the core? Are they going for the keeps? They have the momentum.
I say go for it. You have the momentum here. They're pushing in. The Web Weavers have not fully been turned in yet. Malfurion will finish it there in the bottom, waiting for the teams to get everything pushed in. Here it comes. Fnatic putting it all on the line here. Grouping up as 5 in the bottom right with Wubby possibly coming in.
Wubby can always move in immediately. So can Illidan. The crowd in Sweden is going crazy as we're seeing the Web Weaver starting to approach already, poking in the mid lane. We have the Swedish team, the boy band, trying to take the structures here, going for the first tower. The Web Weavers are on the way. Dignitas with a back to the wall, but they are fighting as 5.
Dignitas holding here pretty well so far. The slowing sands will be right in the middle to make Fnatic funnel on the right side. This gives JPL the opportunity to go in if they overstep.
They need to be so careful here. Lunara immediately protected. Schwimpy is on point. Here comes the engage. Dignitas is trying to take the fight, but they break the cocoon. Lunara is alive, moves out with a leaping strike. Great positioning by Quagnix here once again, and Schwimpy is the backbone of the team in this game.
Brilliant play there by Wubby. He actually set up for the clear up there, and he sidestepped to make sure that Chromie would not be able to hit the engage off the cocoon. Now Quagnix moving forward here with the Web Weaver. 20-19. Zelia goes in. He gets silenced.
The silence is in. The hunt already used. They're jumping in once again. Zelia is all over the place, trying to escape here. The ley line hits him, and it hits him hard. Medivh is down, but so is Karasym. It's a trade. Fnatic, they go for the core. They have what it takes, or do they? 2 of the keeps are already down. Are they going for it, or will they retreat here? They try to get the Stormbolt, and it hits hard.
If they get another kill, they can go for the core. They get another kill, and they're moving in. Quagnix working on the core. You have to sidestep Chromie, though, here. If Chromie blows anyone up, Fnatic can't take the game.
Lunara pokes away at the shields. The shields are gone. 2 keeps are down. 4 versus 3. Chromie, Mane, he's doing whatever he can here. Poke after poke. The hunt, the ice block. They go for Illidan once again, but Zelia is trying to snowball this.
Zelia trying to end the fight here, but he's already low. Does he fall? The time trap will stop Lunara, but the poison is enough. And now they turn their sights toward the core, but Chromie also falling as well. Dignitas has only one member up. Fnatic moving in, 30%, going down to 20, and they're gonna take the lead in the series 3-2.
GG! Fnatic takes the map and is in the lead. They are in the lead in our best of 7 here, taking the map. What a finish here, and what a snowball by Fnatic as they are bringing the pain to Dignitas.
We just witnessed old school Fnatic on Tumo the Spider Queen controlling the battleground, playing superior macro, and getting the kills that were necessary. And you have to shout out Twimpy here. That Medivh play throughout the entire game shut down Dignitas.
It definitely did, and Quacknix as well on his Lunara with the positioning the entire time. And we've been questioning how much of an impact can he have with Lunara. And them snowballing in the early game was the key. Hitting the 13 while not being behind, getting the protection of the Greater Spell Shield combined with what Shrimpy brings to the table, and all of a sudden he could just completely pop off, get the damage in, and he prepared kill after kill.
Well, Dignitas falls victim to Fnatic, and Fnatic will take the lead. Analyst, what do you think about that match?
A lot to talk about as the Swedish crowd goes wild. Fnatic is now one game away from being crowned the world champions. It was close though, once again. It feels like all of these games are just getting closer. But overall, Fnatic executed pretty darn well there in that game.
Yeah, didn't think it was going to be that close at the very, very end, but Fnatic did what we expected them and what they needed to do on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which was get the first turn-in and snowball. And that is why we went all the way back and said that it was important that Dig was able to win on Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow, because we knew that Tomb was still up in the pool, and we know the battlefield is still up in the pool.
I feel like a lot of that came down to the drafting of Fnatic and how they manipulated the draft. At the last pick into the Medivh, they executed it very, very well, and there was nothing that you could see Dignitas like really make happen. Even when they fell behind because they committed to the Illidan, every time they thought they could get a fight, there's a fort conveniently there because they struggled into the early game.
It felt like there was a good amount of safety even for someone like Lunara, who's kind of squishy as well, because you've got Medivh, who's able to use protection, but when she's leaping, striking in, there's still the potential of her getting out with things like portals and stuff when she's that far in the back. So it all kind of came together for Fnatic.
Yeah, exactly. And on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, if you don't lose your first 3 forts, Illidan has very little room to maneuver. And when you're adding a portal on top of that, he basically has no room to really chase at all.
Right.
And Shrimpy played a great Medivh, so you know, that was a great pick for them in the end here. And like Gilly said, I think the snowball really happened right at level 10.
I'm just glad I didn't let you down. That's all I'm saying. that was all I was worried about that whole game. I was like, please don't let the fan down. Please don't let the fan down.
Well, I mean, Shrimpy did not let me down at all, so that was top-notch. And I have a replay here, actually, that shows the level 10 fight. So if we could pause right here for a moment. So the fight itself is not that important because whoever hits 10 at this point in time first will get their ultimates first. Whoever gets their ultimates first are going to win the fight first. So overall, this fight goes in the favor of Fnatic at the very start. Neither team is level 10. We see Snitch is under heavy pressure. He got hit by the root. Breeze jumps in, and at this point, all of Dig is concentrated on just getting Snitch out of here. It's important to take into account that on the map, as we keep playing this replay, on the map, the Dahaka is here while the Illidan is still on the bot side. Dahaka then goes to soak mid lane, and at this point, Quacknix starts channeling because he knows they just want a favorable trade. And right here, if we can pause, so right here, Fnatic has the turn-in. You missed the stall, they got the turn-in. There's really no reason for Dig to be here anymore. They're actually slightly closer to 10 than Dignitas is. Wabi went mid, soaked mid, and then ran bottom because he's a race car. He's soaking bottom. At this point, Dig needs to just get out of there. They lost the trade. They're slower to 10. And look at the focus Fnatic puts onto level 10 here. Look at them focusing the top creep wave. They made the call for the top creep wave. They made the call for the bottom creep wave. And Dignitas didn't quite get out of there fast enough. Fnatic saw that they were still there, just instantly said, get top wave, get bot wave, get 10 all in on them, and from this, not only do they get the 2 picks, but they got the 2 picks right after they got their turn in, snowballed like a 2-level lead and just never let it drop.
And from that, it feels like there's seconds in it, because if Dignitas on the other side has level 10, they have slowing sands, they have everything to be able to try and stop them from going through that middle of in between those 2 lanes.
And it's even more important because, again, the composition. Like, if Dig won that and they were able to be able to rid of the Web Weavers, would keep their structures alive and then can get a turn in afterwards, suddenly the map top 4 or maybe mid 4 would receive actual damage, go down, and then suddenly Zaylee on the Illidan can be a hero on Team this Spider Queen.
What I loved about that is the 3 heroics that were snap locked in as soon as they hit 10 were all used. They grabbed them and they used them. And that type of confidence is what we want to see from a team who is fighting to be the grand championship or champion of the midseason brawl.
Right. And with that, they are 1 game away from crowning themselves the world champion. We're going to go to a break now, but do not go anywhere.